call it a comeback! This is not the Smoke Show you remember, which is why we are starting from scratch at episode 1. My name is Josh Smokey-Hell Nelson, and this is the Smoke Show. My little corner of the internet where we rip through the latest in fantasy football, music, comics, entertainment, and more. Now, before, these phases of the Smoke Show were all separate. This has, at times, been a fantasy football podcast, a music reaction channel, an interview-based content machine, and more. However, I figured, why the Smokey Hell am I keeping all that fun apart? So now, it's a talk show format, with everything in every episode, so all you lovely humans can see life the way that I do. I thank you for joining me on this ride, but, as Tom Petty said, don't bore us, get to the chorus. So let's go! Greetings, humans! We begin today's show with Phase 1, Fantasy Football, which was the genesis of this show so many years ago. Full disclosure, I am a goddamn degenerate. I play in 25 leagues, and I cannot get enough about this game about a game. Since the new NFL season is upon us, I'm going to give you the Smoke Show's My Guys for 2025. First up, we have Brock Bowers! Now, I'm a tight end guy in fantasy. Most of my roster builds include multiple top 5 tight ends. It's an easy way to gain positional advantages. I get why a lot of people might be going McBride over Bowers, even though Bowers outperformed McBride last year in every statistical category. But here's my argument for Bowers. Last year, we witnessed the greatest rookie tight end season in NFL history. Despite having league-bottom quarterback talent, no one else to draw pressure off him, and all while adjusting to the NFL. Bowers ate up a ridiculous target share of 27.1% that took him straight to the history books. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders made some bountiful upgrades this offseason. First order of business, new quarterback, and the top running back in the draft. Woo! Second order of business, new coach and new offensive coordinator. Ones that will focus on the run game and a high pace of play, resulting in more plays per game, and some juicy mismatches for my boy Bowers. Now, am I concerned about the superstar in waiting at running back? Absolutely not! Now teams are actually forced to respect a facet of the offense that didn't really exist last year, no offense. Back in 2020, Andrew Erickson wrote an article on PFF.com on the inverse correlation between running back and tight end targets. A la, when one rises, the other one falls. Now, I think this affects Jonty Moore, at least in year 1. Bowers will lead that team in targets, and it won't be close. If you're in a tight end premium league, good lord! I am taking Bowers in round 1 and not looking back, man. I ain't going to worry about the position for the rest of the year. I have Bowers finishing as the tight end 1 again, with a dominant season. I mean, when's the last time we had a back-to-back tight end 1? It's got to be Kelsey. Anyways. Next up, a rookie wide receiver? Are you high? Yes and yes! This is no ordinary rookie. And this is no ordinary wide receiver. Folks, this is reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter. Yes. Is he going to be lined up across from breakout wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr.? Yes, and I just don't care. I view this the same way I view Jamar Chase coming into the league with T. Higgins, a stud number 1 already on the roster. If the offensive scheme works, then both those guys are going to eat, man. To that end, Jacksonville got a coaching upgrade in Liam Cohen, who was able to get both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans near the top of the wide receiver standings consistently. Will he be able to pull that off with Trevor Lawrence chucking the ball? I think he will. If he can dial back the average depth of target so T-Law isn't airing it out as much and can play a more conservative and efficient game, I think we're going to see a resurgent Jaguars offense. If you play in leagues with defense, special teams, or IDP, individual defensive players, it's not even a second thought, man. You draft Travis Hunter as soon as you need to. He is the cheat code in fantasy this year. And the more and more we hear out of Jacksonville, the more Hunter seems to be destined for the majority of his game being on offense. With the added bonuses that Travis Hunter provides to many league formats, I have him finishing in the top 15 wide receivers this year. Let's do it. I am undoubtedly going to catch some grief on this next one, but take a wild guess who the next player is. Kyle Anthony Pitts, next question. Let's not move on to that next one yet, though, as I'm sure many will have questions here. Do I have a blind devotion to one of my favorite players in the NFL? That's pretty fucking obvious. However, after the first couple tiers at tight end, what do you have to lose? I mean, look at the guys that are going around the same range as Pitts. Goddard? No thank you. He's 1 foot out the door on an offense that already features a top running back, top wide receiver, and a running quarterback. Not to mention, he's already banged up. How about Jake Ferguson of my beloved Cowboys? Now, Jake may have earned more targets and receptions last year, but my guy Pitts led him in nearly every other statistical category, even on a per-game basis. With Pitts coming into the season healthy and his quarterback, Michael Penix, not Penis, a year more experienced, I love the situation. I predict Kyle Anthony Pitts to have a resurgent year, rising all the way up to tight end 7. Is that bold? I mean, maybe a little. It's tight end 7, man. That shit is attainable. All right, last but not least, the Smoke Show's final my guy for 2025 is Trevion Henderson. I'm a big fan of his coming out of college, and I really love the landing spot as well. Not just because he's now tied to a young stud quarterback in Drake May, and it's not just because he landed on a team with more question marks than exclamation points. It's those things too. But it's the return of Josh McDaniels and the hiring of Mike Vrabel that gives me a pants tightening. Wheels fucking up for Trevion Henderson, who I have as the RB17 on the year, finishing the second half of the year as a top 10 back. There you have it. The Smoke Show's 2025 My Guys. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors. Greetings, humans. I am here to gush about OptimusFantasy.com's new data suite, which is powering every fantasy football stat you hear on the Smoke Show. Not only do you have player comparisons with a bonkers amount of statistical breakdowns, play-by-play, and EPA analyzers, you also have my favorite part, the League Management Dashboard. Now, once you've synced up your Sleeper, MFL, or ESPN leagues, you will find a team overview, a championship window rating, rostership percentages across leagues, key roster concerns, trade recommendations with analytical breakdowns, as well as a trade analyzer to help you fine-tune the moves to bring you championships. Plural. I don't even care if you're only in one league. You don't have to be an analyst to play the game like one. Optimus Fantasy's new data suite is the most indispensable tool you can have in your fantasy football arsenal. And now you can get an even better price on it. Sign up with the promo code SMOKESHOW and enjoy a discount on the greatest thing since points per reception. Are you still here? Go! OptimusFantasy.com, the breeding ground of championship knowledge. Before we get into today's feature band, there is a bit of music news we need to get through first. On July 22nd, John Michael Osborne, better known to the masses as Ozzy Osbourne, passed away at the age of 76. We all knew it was coming. He had been in bad health for quite some time. However, it honestly felt like it would never happen. Like, he beat our Keith Richards, and we could watch him enjoy the retirement he's so deservedly earned. Even though I don't think retirement would have suited him well. I know Black Sabbath plans on releasing the very final concert into theaters next year. I can only imagine how much more will be included with it. I hope at least a little mini tribute documentary. To give you an idea of how much influence Ozzy and Black Sabbath as a whole had on my life, you need only to look to my youngest son, Ozzy. I picked up a bass guitar because of Geezer, I owe my love to the SG body style to Tony. An irreplaceable piece of who I am has been snuffed out. And now I and many others enter a period of mourning that will not pass quickly, if ever. As always, with the passing of a musician, their body of work is the lasting legacy we hold close to our chests. Close enough that it can feel the beat of our heart, because it had a hand in writing that accompaniment. It's not only the music, but the influence of that music that extends beyond the lifespan of any musician. Legend or not. It is in that vein that I now present the first feature band of the relaunch of the Smoke Show, Sycophant. That's spelled S-Y-K-O-F-A-N-T. Now, these guys are a prog rock metal band out of my ancestral country of Norway, and they actually approached me originally over a year ago. But that's around when we went on hiatus, blah, 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 blah. We are here now, and so proud to present some of my favorite parts off their latest EP, Red Sun, the first half of 2 EPs that Sycophant plans on releasing for this cycle. Now, there are fingerprints of some of my all-time favorite bands all over this, such as Pink Floyd, Mastodon, and Opeth, a band whose lyrics spawn the name of my band, Dead Eyes Always Stare. And despite being only 3 songs, has a runtime of 22 glorious minutes. Now, just to preface this, when I make musical comparisons to an artist's sound, I'm in no way trying to insinuate any kind of a rip-off or any hint of anything like that. It's just where my ADHD brain takes me, and I find those connections. They help me classify the sound in my own mind. So here's a selection from the first song, Ashes. And you can hear from this clip the Opeth of it all. It's the vocals. Such Ackerfeltian beauty in Neil's voice. Ugh. Good. The second clip I want to play for y'all is the second song/title track, Red Sun, which screams David Gilmour and Pink Floyd to me. The hauntingly beautiful melody with gorgeous vocals spread over top like delicious butter winds its way into your ears on a lazy river of sound. I would smoke so much to this song. It's not even funny. I mean, just check this clip. It's just a vibe. And I mean, that's exactly it. This band is a vibe. Small snippets do not do these songs justice, but I do have one more. And this one is the very beginning of the third song, titled Embers. That's just good musicianship right here. Do you get the Mastodon feel from that one like I do? I am excited, titillated, and whatever other descriptors you want to throw in there. But I'm very much looking forward to the second EP. Fantastic work, Sycophant. Might have to book y'all in for a reaction video when that next EP drops. Today's feature comic is by a first-time comic writer, but someone that is no stranger to the written word, having released several books in the horror thriller genre, Mr. Edward Kane. Now, I've had the pleasure of reading another selection from his series, The Pursuit of Shadows, and if there's only one word that I get to describe his writing, it is visceral. However, let's focus today on his newest offering, Futility Shapes, which was drawn by Dave Fowler with lettering by Rob Jones. First off, the cover. Yeesh! Talk about some body horror imagery, and I love it. I think it hit me a bit harder initially because it's a dead ringer for my best friend. I mean, come on. Let's throw it up on the screen, a little side-by-side here. That's Bansky, Kevin Banner. Amazing comedian. Fucking love that guy. I digress. The story follows Adam, recent victim of a horrific accident, waking up on an operating table. As doctors surround him to explain the situation, Adam begins experiencing cognitive dissonance as his mind tries to reconcile his current status, as he also tries to dredge up his most recent memories. The body horror is hair-raising, and I don't know how much more I can get into it without giving away any spoilers, as the comic is a standalone 25-page piece of terrifying beauty. What I can say, though, is how this fucked up my goddamn head for like days after the first, second, and third reads. I wanted more. More of this story. More of these characters. More of this entire world. The possibilities it evokes in your brain is possibly as horrifying as what you see on the pages. Maybe that's just my twisted ass gray matter. But what remains true is the fact that you need to read this debut comic from Edward Kane, Dave Fowler, and Rob Jones. This one gets the official Smokey seal of approval. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors. Do you love comics? If you answered no, why? Do you hate compelling stories? Do you loathe the beauty of modern art in a myriad style? Are you just a fuddy-duddy official on-the-record hater? Well, this ain't for you. But for those who can't get enough of visually and intellectually awe-inspiring stories, I have two words for you. Dauntless Stories. I've had the pleasure of reviewing some incredible works from this independent publisher that I would put up there with really any other stuff from any other publisher. Even the Schmeesy and Schmarvels of the world. Check out Smoke Show approved favorites like standalone graphic novel Who Killed Sarah Shaw, or the ongoing series from Fire and Blood, a Jason Zhang adventure. I really hope I'm saying that right. Or any of the many titles from one of the best publishers out there. Get your ass on over to dauntlessstories.com and get immersed into one of the many worlds that they've created. Tell them Smokey sent you. I'm going to kick this Mental Health Minute segment off by doing something more humans need to do. My name is Josh Smokey-Hell Nelson, and I live with a small handful of mental health issues. I am not ashamed of that. My particular brand has been diagnosed as cyclical depression in addition to ADHD. You can also throw autism in there as well, however, that is still waiting on official diagnosis. As I said, I am not ashamed of my mental health issues, and I am always forthcoming about them. I am not medicated for them, as medication is something I'm not really down with on a personal level, but I always advocate that if they're right for someone, they should definitely consider it. I masked for the majority of my life, as I was always aware something was different with my thought processes, and it just made life easier to act as if those issues didn't exist. When I was 30, I decided to live a more truthful version of myself, and I dropped the mask, and while it was incredibly freeing, it also opened up several cans of worms, as I am now discovering more about myself, my true self. I am seeing the extent of what I had really been covering up all those years. And it's amazing! Yet, it is a process, both of self-discovery and mental maintenance. Knowing what I know now, would I have masked for so long? Honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. Life takes time. And I am at a mature enough stage in my life where I can both accept these facts and change them if I so choose. So for today's Mental Health Minute, I encourage you lovely humans to be honest with yourself, honest with others, and feel no shame in doing so. None. You'll find that by being open about yourself and how you experience life, you'll discover you are in no way alone, and help is all around you. For this next segment, I have a very special guest who has made one appearance on our show before and will now be a regular occurrence. For our man on the street, we now go and send this off to our intrepid reporter and see what's going on in the fabulous world of Felix. Let's do that better. For this next segment, I have a very special guest. One who has made an appearance on our show before, which will now be a regular occurrence. For our man on the street, we send this off to our intrepid reporter and see what's going on in the fabulous world of Felix.
Thank you, Smokey. And today we are here to talk about Mario Odyssey. And I am so excited to do my 100% the game. And I have to get 999 moons, and then I have to get on top of the castle in the Mushroom Kingdom in Mario Odyssey, and then you have to climb up there, and then if you get on top, you have to get on the very top of it, and then you throw Cappy at it, and then there's a cutscene when a hat falls down, and make sure you don't get under it, or else you're trapped there forever. Back to Smokey.
This is a fun, easy segment I like to sauce in to provide a little levity break. Today's episode features a top 5 question from Salvatore Stefano on Blue Sky as salpal2.bsky.social, who requests the Smoke Show's top 5 people whose nickname is Smoke. And I'm going to slightly alter that to include Smokey as well. Here it is. Coming in at number 5, we have Smokey Robinson. Psych! I'm sorry, but those recent allegations have put him far the fuck away from this list. So you know what? Let's just feed my ego and put me on there, but we don't need to talk about that. At number 4, we have one of my favorite hidden/side characters of legendary side view fighting game Mortal Kombat to make it to the main roster. Smoke. A Lin Kuei assassin who has close ties to my goat fighter Sub-Zero. Smoke, like most MK characters, goes through a tragic story, but remains a mysterious yet dangerous fighter. For the 3 spot, a beloved classic character who preaches about the danger of smoke in the outdoors. We, of course, have Smokey from the 1995 film Friday. I was just bullshitting! And you know this, man! 1995 was a very formative year of my life. Between meeting the Dallas Cowboys, to writing my first song, to smoking weed for the first time. Chris Tucker's portrayal of Smokey was hilarious, and this role really put him on my radar for future viewing. At 2, we actually have Smokey the Bear, an icon of environmental stewardship and responsibility, a bear who has reminded us 78 years ago that only you can prevent forest fires. That's kind of Wilford Brimley-ish, which really spoke to the child arsonist in me, and made me change my ways. To this date, I have never started a forest fire, so I feel like I should be receiving a medal any day now. Many people are saying. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have a recent entry. And what an entry it was! Holy! Portrayed by acting phenom Michael B. Jordan in the 2025 film Sinners. If you have not seen that, go fucking see that now. We have Elijah almost said Smokestack. That was his twin. Elijah Smoke Moore. One half of the Smokestack twins. Now, this movie was a tour de force, and to my shock, the little 2-screen theater in my backwater town was showing it. So I took my wife Rach to go see it, and to my delight, we were the only 2 people in the theater. I spent a couple minutes literally sitting everywhere to find the ideal sight and sound spot. And it was such a cool private experience. Just getting to watch that masterpiece of a movie in a theater to ourselves. I digress. Michael B. Jordan did such a phenomenal job playing both brothers, more so than I've seen other actors attempting to do the same. But for the enforcer of the movie, Elijah Smokemore gets the #1 spot. And there you have it. Smokey's top 5 people whose nickname is Smoke or Smokey. If you would like to submit a top 5 list for us to cover, drop a comment or hit me up on email, smokeshowpodcast@gmail.com, or Blue Sky at thesmokeshow.bsky.social. Easy as that. This is the end, my only friends, the end. Shout out Doors, the band and the opening devices. Anyways, thank you for joining me today. This relaunch has been a long time coming. Life takes you in certain directions, and sometimes you gotta put things on a shelf for a while. But we're back. We're better than ever. I got a new suit. Anyways, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can't see my suit, but trust me, it's there. Even got a little pocket square. You like that? Thank you for joining me today on this relaunch of The Smoke Show. All I've got left to say is, where there's smoke, there's fire.